What's in the cards for you this week ahead? Welcome, welcome. We have a full moon this week. I am going to make sure that I am live in all of the places. As you hop on, let me know how you're feeling. If you've been hit by the fatigue, a lot of people are feeling really, really exhausted and tired. Many of my clients have been catching me up on what's been going on in their lives, and the fatigue has been one of them. Some of this is because of the fact that we have Jupiter and Pluto, very big outer planets that slowed down last week. They were stationing to go direct retrograde, and that affected a lot of people. The other thing are all of these amazing solar flares that have been happening. So I am going to there's one other thing. Let's see if I can get rid of this. All right. And let's continue. All right. So with your hand on your heart, tune in to your energy and ask, what is the most important thing that you need to know about going into this week ahead as we work towards a beautiful full moon in Aries that's coming up on Thursday? All right. I am live. So with your hand on your heart, we're going to just ask, what's the most important thing that you need to know? Okay, Six of Swords. I think this is so absolutely incredible. This is the card that represents where you go, there you are. This woman is moving from choppy waters to calm seas ahead, meaning if you have been in a state of turmoil or upset, or if things have been really heavy and intense, there are smoother seas ahead. The most important thing to know is that, yes, you've been doing the work. You're headed towards your goal, your plan. Make sure you check in and you see, what is the luggage? What is the baggage that you're bringing with you? This is a big theme for this week as I tuned in to see what was the most important message to bring through to all of you guys watching live and in the replay. The big thing was, it's important to realize that there can be something that's holding you back. And you want to ask yourself, is this the thing holding you back? Is it the belief that you're bringing with you to your new job, to your new project, to your new relationship? Is it the old emotional hurt? Is it the pain? Is it the opinions of other people? Is it, actually physical stuff? What are you bringing along with you that's weighing you down and holding you back? This is the week that we ask, is this the thing? Have I been holding on so tightly to maybe my pride, or a place where I was hurt or misunderstood or not respected? Is this a thing that keeps me fighting? Is this a thing that makes it so hard for me to open up and receive love and to trust others? This is a week of examination, and it is a week of balance and harmony. Hello, Eleanor. So glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome from across the pond. So great to have your energy in the room. Hello, Cindy. Lovely to have you. And for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Irina Miller. I'm an astrologer and energy alchemist. I am someone who loves to bring sacred practices together to help create the unique recipes, the sacred tools to enable you to step into the life that you were born to live. This is something I've been doing for over 3 decades. It's been a little while, but it is a true joy. I kind of close my eyes because I've been having all these 30-year reunions, and it's crazy. The 90s doesn't seem that long ago, right? Oh, Julie, hello. Great to have you. So this week, I'm going to share some spiritual practices that you can do to help release the hurts and pains, because we want to get ready for this full moon. The full moon is on Thursday. It is in Aries. And I wanted to double check one thing before we popped on together, because what I love to do, I wanted to just double check one thing. Okay, I'll double check it later. Oh, good, Julie. I'm glad you're switching over to YouTube. Yeah, better connection. Never know. These solar flares have been very interesting. So if you guys have had tech connections, let me know as well. A lot of people, I had a call with a client last week, and actually it was 2 weeks ago, right after the eclipse. And it was crazy. I mean, we kept hitching and glitching. You'd think it was a Mercury in retrograde, but I want to encourage all of you, make sure that you have backup for data plan, like, how do I want to say, backup plans for data, whether you're backing up the data on your machines, or you're finding alternative routes to get onto calls or to have calls, just so that you can be more at ease. There was an old quote I heard attributed to the Dalai Lama that said, if you want to have less stress in your life, leave an hour earlier. And I thought that was funny, because I know for myself, I feel everything to the fullest in each possible moment. And I can find myself not having enough buffer time if something goes wrong. So give yourself some extra time this week in case something goes sideways. You're going to find that it helps a lot. Okay, let's talk about the overall energy of the week, the phase of the moon. This is a big thing that can kind of address your energy levels. It's one layer. Obviously, there are many other layers, like many people experienced last week with the planets either, basically they were stationing. Jupiter and Pluto, they were slowing down, coming to a standstill. And when they came to a standstill, what ended up happening was a lot of people felt that heaviness, like I'm moving through molasses. It feels so hard. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. We had massive solar flares, which enabled us, some of us in North America, to see the northern lights that we don't normally get to see. So pretty, but it's affecting our energy levels. Pay attention to that. So the overall energy of the week is the moon is going through a waxing gibbous phase. So it's building energy. It's like a wave coming into shore. It's crescendoing into the full moon that is Thursday. Full moon in Aries at 24 degrees. And we're going to talk a lot about that as we get a little bit closer to Thursday's weather report. But suffice to know that you are building up towards your dream. This is the home stretch. This is sometimes where if we have been giving it our all and we've been running, you might feel the exhaustion kick in, or you might feel the second guessing or the doubting. Like, I don't know, can I really pull this off? Should I keep pushing? How close am I? Is it worth it? Oh, it's been hard. Keep going. Keep going. The full moon is a time for reflection point. If you ever feel like giving up or quitting, pause and rest. It's a sign that you're tired. So the full moon is a moment of celebration of the wins. It's time of reflection. It's a time of saying, okay, what have I been carrying that I no longer carry? Is this the thing that's been holding me back? Is this the thing that's been weighing me down? The belief, the emotion, the physical item. Maybe it was a connection or a relationship or a partnership. Take a moment to evaluate, but on the full moon, that's when we really reflect. That's when we can kind of look back at the data and get the insights and say, okay, you know what? As I look back over the last 2 weeks, I realize, this really hasn't been serving my highest. As I look back over the 4 weeks, over the year, and that's going to give you insight. The full moon then afterwards, as we get into the weekend, it starts dimming. So this weekend, you might find that you want to have a lot of creature comfort, comfort food. You want to feel safe. You want to feel just be able to enjoy yourself because the moon's going to be in Taurus. All right, let's jump into the week ahead. And Eleanor, I'm so glad that you're here on YouTube as well. I love being able to share over here. It's a joy to be able to reach people across all the platforms. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing anybody else. As we tune in for Monday, they all want to jump out. Everyone's very excited. Monday, the moon kicks off in Pisces. So let's just ask what's most important that you need to know. The Chariot, you are on the road to success and you can handle chaos. Sometimes it's like they say that phrase, it's like herding cats. Everything's running in 10 different directions. Well, this wonderful energetic being is able to get these two horses who each have a mind of their own. One wants to go left, one wants to go right. They're able to get both of them to work in harmony and move forward together. And here's what I want to say about that, because Jupiter has been in Gemini, and Gemini is an energy of twins, of twos. And the thing about it is that sometimes it's also kind of like the inverse, or we have another option, or we do it twice, or we see it from a different perspective, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And you're being given an opportunity to get insights and downloads of information because Jupiter just went retrograde. And what that means is that rather than getting inspiration from outside of ourselves, rather than getting that nudge and that hint, maybe from others, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just a little more quiet. We're being given more of an opportunity to look within and say, okay, you've received a lot of insight and information with the eclipses we've just had. You have a lot of data you've been collecting, maybe in your moon journal or on your own. Take a moment to review that. Look at all of the beliefs that you've been collecting. Look at all of the thoughts. Are these the things holding you back? Is this what's keeping you from moving forward? Maybe it's a belief of, looking for inspiration here and guidance. Okay, this is an interesting one. I had a teacher many a moon ago who had a dream car that she was hoping to manifest, but she knew it was way outside of her price and she'd never be able to get it. So she did like the next best option, and she was at the car dealership. She found a car that was within her budget. She really loved it. She was going to come back and buy the car. She had set it all up with the salesperson. And when she came back to buy it, it had been sold. And she was devastated. And the salesperson felt very badly because he had promised the car to her. I don't know what the exact deal was, but he decided, listen, I'm going to make it possible so that you can get the car of your dreams. So she was able to get the car of her dreams because she was open to it. But at the same time, she was trying to be realistic and practical and down to earth. I'm not going to go out on such a limb that I put my well-being, my financial health at risk. But I'm open to good things happening and possibilities coming my way. So take a moment to examine the beliefs, to be like, oh, well, I'd love to do that, but I could never. Like, it's say, this or something better. That's one of the best things when you're looking to attract or to create in your life. I hesitate to use the word manifest because I feel like that's got so much attached to it, right? So much baggage. But you are a co-creator in this lifetime. What is it that you're wishing to create? What dream has been placed in your heart? Avoid being impulsive, but take a moment to realize that you can have many dreams at once and they don't have to cancel each other out. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay. So one thing to say about the moon in Pisces is that it is emotional and it's highly intuitive. So today on Monday, if you are feeling extra emotional, if you're feeling a little sad, especially sad because you have been working so hard for your dream, and you look around and, we're not supposed to look around and compare ourselves, but it's hard not to. It gives us a frame of reference sometimes to know, okay, am I marching forward at a decent beat? We're just trying to collect the data, but it might upset our heart. And we might wonder, wow, why is it taking me so long to heal? Why is it taking me so long to get healthy or to have success in this area of my career? Allow yourself to go through the emotions as they come up. One little sacred practice or ritual that I would give for you today with the moon in Pisces is put on some really good music. On those days where I'm feeling sad, I'll go to those, some particular songs. Like there's the one by John Denver, sad song, like sometimes you feel like a sad song when you're all alone. And then there's also the one that was in the Alvin and Chipmunks movie, You Had a Bad Day. I can't remember the name of it. I'll try to find them, and if I can link them, I will, to the video. But these songs, it helps you process. Maybe being in water can also help. But give yourself that moment to take time, to let the tears roll, to let the emotions up and out. Or maybe you're in too many words I want to say at once, engaging Pisces in a different way, where you're feeling extra intuitive and sensitive, like your little spidey sensors are on overload. Give yourself a moment to simply unplug and get outside. Okay. And Eleanor, you're seeing 1444, a lot of fours these past few days. Yeah. So 4, just as a side note, so lots of different ways to interpret numerology. From a tarot perspective, 4 is about stability. 4 is about creating strong foundation. 4 is about really celebration. It's like, okay, I've reached a steady spot where I can take a breath. I can celebrate my successes. I'm no longer teeter-tottering on one foot, but I've got a nice, strong, stable base, like a table legs beneath me. 4 in the sense of astrology can represent breakthrough. It can represent eureka moments. 4 is also an energy that I very much connect with the angels, an angelic connection when I think of angel numbers. So the best thing when it comes to seeing numbers and interpreting them is take note of what you were thinking about right before you saw the numbers and create your own dictionary. And that's the kind of thing in the Mastering Intuition program that I love to do. And I encourage all of you to do with your moon journals. Write these things down so that you can come back to it, so that when you see a 4. Sometimes I had clients that would see like birthdays and they'd know a loved one was with them because they'd see that person's birthday. And you said, Eleanor, yeah, that's happening. Restability also these past few days. Oh, yay, you're so welcome. Okay, Tuesday's energy. Tuesday, moon's still in Pisces, and we're building up to that full moon. So what's most important that you need to know about Tuesday? Ooh, 2 cards want to come out. Okay, we're going to go with it. Options. So this is classic Pisces energy ruled by Neptune. This is sometimes where We can sometimes get caught in a fog or a haze. There's lots of fog around this. He's trying to make a decision. Do I choose this one or that one? What's behind door number 1? What's behind door number 2? Am I going to choose correctly? There's a lot of pressure that's placed on us when this card comes up to choose correctly. And this is saying, listen, take a moment to take a deep breath, because we don't have all the information yet. Some of it is being withheld. So in order to make a choice that we feel, or a decision that we feel truly confident in, we might have to wait a moment until we get more data, more information. And so I encourage you, if you have to make decisions this week with Monday and Tuesday's energy, give yourself some time to tap into your imagination, to tap into creative potential. Don't feel forced into decision making yet. As we get closer to the Aries moon, we'll feel a little bit more energy around that. But I would say take into account your options, ground. So a good practice for Tuesday, a good ritual, because the moon's still in Pisces, to get, this is why it's probably coming up. Queen of Pentacles is here. She's all about earth energy. A good practice for Tuesday would be to get outside. If you can be outside near water, all the better. Even if it's just near a little stream that's kind of trickling, even if you have on your headphones like running water or ocean sounds and you're outside in your backyard or in a local park, this is an energy that's going to bring you back down to earth. Because when we're caught in illusion, when we're caught up with the emotion, with the overwhelm, like I can't decide, do I do this? Do I do that? He's worrying. He's out there trying, he's biting his fingernails, trying to decide. She is sitting outside in the elements with her eyes closed. That symbolizes, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of what's around me. I feel very grounded and present, and my other senses are on alert. I don't have to rely on external sources to help me make the decision, but internally, I tune within for the answers. And this is something, and I'm curious, this is something that I struggled with. And this is kind of like why I love that term alchemy, because when we receive practices or teachings, something that I am very, very big proponent of is we can be open to receive the teachings and the guidance from our teachers and others, coaches, whomever, but we take it in and we digest it. We sit with it, we ruminate on it, we play with it, we figure out how it's applicable in that moment to us. How do we understand it in this frame of reference? We're not always just taking somebody's word as gold, like, oh, you say that's truth? Okay, fantastic. Or, oh, this is what it is, or this is what it, okay, fantastic. Digest it and make it your own. So one of the things that I found myself struggling with was in church, the pastor at one point said something along the lines of, oh, this new age hooey, this looking within for the answer, forget that. Like you pray to God. Okay, great, right? I hear that. I can understand that. And I thought, I really do connect with look within for the answer, right? So this guy's looking outside of himself. What's the answer? Is this the pill that's going to fix everything? Is this the course that's going to make my dreams come true? Is this the business model that's going to make it? Is this a relationship that's going to, is it this? Is it this? Is it? Remember the theme of the week, the woman with all the luggage. How much are we carrying? Is that the thing holding us back? Someone who said, you know what you need to do for success? I don't want to put that in your space, right? Or you know what's wrong with you? Or you know what the problem is? Cancel, clear, delete, little chokeray. Holy cannoli. She's not looking for outside opinion. Look at that confidence. She is sure of herself, right? So how do we go from worry, anxiety, no, what do I do, to confidence in that inner knowing? Her eyes are closed. She's looking within for the answer. So going back to that dilemma that was brought up, the more that I sat with what I heard from the pastor and I sat with it, I thought, oh, I see where the disconnect is. For me, I see a connection directly to God through my heart chakra, through my heart. So when I tune within, that is my ability to block out the world and to tune within to get a more clear connection to God, source, creator, universe, whatever name that higher power goes for you, absolute light. And by doing that, it enables me to really have that personal conversation. And that helps when we think of like this week, and it's like, what's the thing that's holding us back? Are we looking outside of ourselves for the answer, or are we looking within? Holy cannoli, I'm all chills. Oh, I didn't expect that message to come through. Hello, Amy. So glad that you're here. Oh my goodness. And Diane, you said you've been seeing 1441 a lot. Wow. So a lot of these ones and fours, and I didn't address the one. So let's talk about that. 1111, 2323. Yeah. And Diane, you said you're Pisces. I'm Pisces, feel sad and visible, and I know I shouldn't. It's hard. Totally agree with you. Yeah, big hugs to you, Pisces. And to Diane, Piscean beautiful energy. Here's the thing. Oh, in Edinburgh. Hello from across the pond. Great to have you too. Here's the thing about the beautiful Piscean energy. Pisces energy, they're empaths. They feel to such incredible depths, and they can be very, how do I want to say? They can take on others' energy and emotions as if they were their own. They care greatly. And they're very silent. They're like the silent, strong type I found. My brother was a Pisces. I have a sister-in-law who's a Pisces. And they will be at someone's side in the blink of an eye if they need help. And they'll give you the shirt off of their back. And a lot of times, because the other zodiac signs, Cancer and Scorpio are very empathic as well, the water signs, but sometimes the other zodiac signs don't always realize the depth of the way the Pisces feel. And, you know, Pisces energy, I feel that this goes for many empaths, we can feel like, wow, we can feel invisible and unseen because other people don't feel it or pick up on the energy. So for example, I remember getting upset about certain things, and I would have other people say to me, why are you taking it so personally? It's not happening to you. And I never quite knew how to respond to them because it was true. Was it physically happening to me? Was I in that person's shoes experiencing what they were experiencing? No. But the more that I learned about energy and the collective flow, yes, it was happening to me. You know, think about, you know, if your neighbor decides to pour a bunch of chemicals or do like a crazy burn in their backyard. I had an old client once whose neighbors decided to do some leaf burning. And unfortunately, it kind of expanded a little bit more. And she was very worried her property was going to catch on fire. So you could be like, oh, well, it's not affecting. It's just me. I'm doing the burn. Holy cannoli. Cancel, clear, delete. Like, come on. All right. No. So big hugs to you, Diane. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. So let's talk about Wednesday's energy. Wednesday, the moon is moving into Aries. It's going to feel much different as far as Pisces moon versus Aries moon. And just as a sidebar, I know I'm taking a lot of time this morning. So I just feel that it's important to give you guys a little background, and I love to teach. But let's back up just for a second. Why are we even paying attention to the moon? Why is the moon important? Well, it affects our daily emotions. It affects us on a day-to-day living. It gives us insight as how we are handling and dealing with the stress that comes into our life that day. It can also show up as memories from the past, maybe the emotional pain and hurt that we're bringing forward into this moment now, pain from our childhood, from past relationships or engagements. And when we look at what the moon is doing currently, it gives us a little bit of a better handle and more compassion on how we're feeling, what our intuition is doing that day as well. So when like the moon is in Pisces on Monday and Tuesday, I want to say, give yourself some grace if you are feeling like, you know, whether it's sorry for yourself or you want to just cry or you're feeling extra emotional or extra sensitive, stay away from the people who don't get it. Maybe on Wednesday, you can be like, oh, let's have lunch on Wednesday instead of Monday or Tuesday. Why? Because the moon is in Aries. So let's talk about that. Moon in Aries, what's most important that you need to know. And then we'll talk about what moon in Aries is. Community, right? You don't have to go it alone. So this community here, this beautiful community of energy adventures, Moon Club, all of you beautiful empaths are here. I'm so grateful for your presence and your time, because when we come together like this, we can see each other. We know we're not alone. So Wednesday's energy is one that is saying, you know what? You don't have to go this alone. You don't have to figure it out on your own. You might have been like the wolf in the herd of sheep kind of thing, trying to fit in, trying to blend, trying to belong, and realizing, wow, you know what? Like, we want to belong. And sometimes I think as empaths too, the other incredible thing is that, and I keep saying empaths, for those of you out there who haven't really become familiar with the term, empaths are people who pick up energy and emotions on much more refined or sensitive nature than others, almost so that they think that the feelings are their own, or that they become, they get sympathy pains, that they worry about their loved ones, above and beyond. Empaths are people who are just, they could be considered highly sensitive people. So the thing about it is that sometimes, because we have our friendships, I have a client who's going through the Mastering Intuition program, and she said one of the interesting things is that she realizes her friendships are changing, that hanging around with the same people, the way that they talk or the way that they move or the way they behave is no longer, they realize, in alignment with supporting a loving and a high vibrational lifestyle, let's say, to kind of say it in a quick way. So find your people, know that you don't have to keep forsaking who you are in order to fit in. That if you want to be able to say, oh my gosh, like I, just walked into that room, and I can't stay for the conference. I can't eat, lunch here or dinner here. It just feels off. And people are like, why? This highly rated restaurant, it's beautiful, it's fantastic. It's like, no, I can't. I need to go somewhere else. Surround yourself with people who at least can be compassionate, even if they don't totally get it. And this is one of those places for sure. So I'm glad you're here. So with the moon in Aries is more of you moving into yourself as an individual. It's honoring your independence. It's honoring your identity. It's saying that it's okay to do something that lifts your spirits up, not to do something that makes everyone else comfortable. Aries is the complement or the opposite of Libra. And so when we have the full moon on Thursday, you have the moon that's going to be in Aries and the sun is going to be in Libra. And what that means is that we're looking to find a harmony between being our own unique individual and still, being diplomatic, keeping the peace, being out there with others, but not at losing ourselves. Because one of the things about the Libran energy, one of the things that could be holding them back is they get that tag sometimes, people pleaser, because they are host with the most or hostess with the mostest. They want to put everyone else at ease. They're seeking to create harmony. And at the sake of creating harmony and getting rid of conflict, they can sometimes throw themselves underneath the bus. And Aries would never do that. And Aries would be like, I don't like it here, I'm leaving. That's okay. Whereas a Libra might be like, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to be rude. I don't want to upset. And it's not that one's right or wrong. It's saying, okay, we're looking for, this is a Libra in me. We're looking for the harmony. We're looking for the equanimity. Where can we find that sweet spot? At times we might need to bring in more Aries energy and other times more Libran. So on Wednesday, something that I would encourage you to do are I am statements, because it's a reminder of who are you. And in the moon journal, I have at the top of every week, I have different ones. I am protected. I am strong. Next week we have, I'm just curious because you can go ahead. I am fearless. I am lovable. You can just look at those, or you could even Google I am statements and just say them to yourself. I am. Remind yourself who you are. That would be an incredible practice of affirmations on Wednesday. Okay. Thursday is the full moon in Aries, full supermoon. So the moon is going to be very close to the earth in apogee or perigee. Holy cannoli. Oh. I'm overthinking things. In perigee, apogee's far away, apogee. But we're going to have that supermoon. So you're going to feel it a little more intensely. The moon is in Aries and the sun is in Libra. And let's just pull a card and we'll talk a little bit more about the moon in a second. But what's most important that you need to know? Love. All you need is love. The Beatles come to mind. So a ritual for Thursday with the full moon. What I would encourage you to do is listen to some Beatles music. The Beatles music is written in such a beautiful way. The frequency of it, not to mention the lyrics, but all you need is love. Even if you were to listen to that song in particular, I'm going to encourage you to add more love to your world, to the world around you on Thursday. And here's why. And even before I tell you here's why, I'm going to really encourage all of you to get into a space of love, the vibration of love. Maybe you have, I don't have here's my rose quartz. You can have your rose quartz crystal. Any of you gals and guys, whoever's watching, do you have a rose quartz crystal? It's pretty easy to get. And the rose quartz crystal, I would encourage you, have it on you Thursday. This can be a sacred practice for Thursday. Have that crystal. Why? Because it's going to remind you of the vibration of love, of compassion, and of understanding. This is important because the full moon energy, the moon is conjunct. We're sitting right next to this wonderful energy of Eris, E-R-I-S. And Eris is representative and symbolic of the person who wasn't invited to the party. If you think of Sleeping Beauty and you have the one, I guess it was Maleficent, right? Who wasn't invited to the party. That was one of those old fairy tales that really scared me. So I don't remember the storyline very well, but she wasn't invited to the party, to the christening or whatever of Little Beautiful Sleeping Beauty. And it's like, wait, why am I being left out? Why am I being forgotten? And she gets really, really mad. And so when she shows up, she's angry. Like, you guys were really rude. You treated me poorly. Like, why did you snub me? Why did you block me from the party? You know, my feelings are hurt. And then there's this feeling of, I want, to get back. I want to be revengeful. And so with the moon in Aries, not to be confused with Eris, E-R-I-S, Eris is the sister of Mars. And in mythology, with that energy, there's this feeling of like, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight, but it's a bit explosive. And supermoons make everything bigger and more amplified and more intense. And so you might feel it's a little like a powder keg around you. So the fact, I love that I'm like pulling the cards first before we talk about the energy, because I feel like this gives us, what do I need to know? Because if the energy is going to be explosive on Thursday, this is saying, get into the tune of love. There's a song by Sarah McLachlan too that I love. The sound that love makes. And she's playing on a ukulele or a ukulele. This is the sound that love makes. I don't remember the full title, but probably if you Googled those things, you would find it. Listen to the music. I'm going to say go back to the music this week, maybe because it kicks off with that Pisces and Neptune energy, but play the music. And then if you want to have a burning bowl, because it's a lot of fire energy, have the burning bowl ceremony. And the burning bowl, I think a lot of you who watch are familiar with it. If you want to know more, I have a whole masterclass on it, and with clearing the energy of a space as well. But you write down what you wish to let go of. You set the paper on fire, putting it into a fireproof bowl, making sure you're in a super safe area that, not going to catch anything else on fire. And you let the old things, the things that have been holding you back, be carried up in smoke to the heavens. And as it's carried up, you're just talking with God and you're saying, okay, God, universe, source, creator, like, help me release these things. Help me heal. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for the life I was meant to live. I'm ready for the blessings. I'm ready for the abundance and prosperity. You can even write those things down afterwards and put them on paper and allow those to be burned up as well and carried up to the heavens in smoke. Then bury the ashes like in the earth once they're like totally out. And I would say even pour a little bit of water, especially once they're on the earth, pour a little bit of water on it because of that element of, I'm going to bring some coolness to this. And that energy of love, which is represented by the energy and element of water. Very interesting. Holy cannoli. Okay, Friday. So Friday, the moon is moving into Taurus. And Taurus is about, finding your happy space. So let's just ask, what's most important that you need to know about Friday's energy? And we come back to the friends. This is sisterhood, brotherhood, communityhood, one of coming together where it's like, we've got each other's back. This is one of celebration. This is one of saying you're not in your struggle alone, but we are coming together to have each other's backs and to celebrate. This card, I love it because it really symbolizes the story of the Pleiadian sisters who had each other's back, and they found a way to get out of discord and out of abusive situations and get to a place where they could be seen and they could be respected and loved for who they were, not forced to be anybody else. So the Taurus energy is, so a moon in Taurus loves to indulge in the sense of, you might find you want to wear comfy clothing, have your comfort food. You might want to buy something shiny. I'll never forget when I was doing my priestess process training, which is like a shamanistic process. And we were going through all the zodiac signs. We got to Taurus, and I got this urge that I needed to buy these sparkly high heel pumps. And I was like, where is this coming from? Because I didn't realize how much the Taurus energy likes shiny, pretty things. At that point, Taurus is, I know better now, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Taurus loves beauty. So if you're drawn to beautiful things, if you want to beautify yourself or your surroundings, then by all means, give yourself that permission on Friday, okay? Enjoy yourself, creature comforts. Saturday, and Saturday moon is still in Taurus. And so Saturday's energy, what's most important that you need to know? Ace of Swords, insights and downloads. After this full moon, after the reflection, after you release the things that are holding you back, and, taking time to look within at the beginning of the week, you're going to have a good idea of what to release, not outside yourself, not going to other people. What's wrong with me? What's wrong? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with my business? What's wrong with my relationship? Sit with yourself, ponder within. You can look outside maybe for prompts like journals or guidance, but ask yourself, ask your heart, because you're asking God directly. The insights are going to come through because the moon is in Taurus. Double checking myself here, Saturday. What I'm going to encourage you to do is a couple different things, depending on how you feel. But in order to get insights like she is, these incredible downloads, yes, I definitely feel that through meditative practices, we receive the insights. We can hear God, source, creator, more easily, and with more clarity. But the tricky part is not all of us were made, so to speak, right out of the gate. We can all learn how to do seated meditation. But some of us have a really hard time sitting for meditation. So walking meditation in the woods, or if you can move your body. Swords is the element of air that it represents. And when I feel the energy of swords, I always think like wind through the hair. So if there was a movement of like riding your bike or, being able to feel the wind through your hair, even if you're in a place that's windy, just to get outside to feel the fresh air, the insights can come. So walking meditation, if you have a labyrinth that you can go to, or if, you run, things like that can bring through. But I'm going to say Saturday, give yourself some time for a meditative practice, whatever that looks like for you. I do have a masterclass all on different types of meditation, depending on, are you a physical person? Do you need a movement meditation? Are you a visual meditator? Do you need to be able to focus on something? I have a burning candle meditation for that. I really love that I was able to channel. And then maybe you're an auditory meditator. You like to hear a guided meditation. Maybe you're a silent meditator and you do an internal process with like a mandala. There are different ways that we all can meditate. And yes, we can learn all of them and we can become adept at all of them. But in the beginning, I find that sometimes we might say, well, I can't sit, so I can't meditate. Oh, I can't do that. But there's so many different ways to do it. Meditation just really means that you lose yourself so completely in the present moment that the rest of the world can pass you by and you don't realize, because you are so in the present moment, engaged with whatever you're doing, engaged with your breath, engaged with the flame of the candle, engaged with painting, you could paint, engaged with dancing, engaged with walking. What do you lose yourself in? Ask yourself that question. Where does time pass by and you don't even realize? That's a meditative practice. Okay, make sure I'm not missing anything. So Sunday's energy. What's most important to know? The moon is going to switch again into Gemini. So let's talk about that. Holy cow, I could feel that in my heart. I'm feeling in ahead, right? Are you guys, you can do that with me too. You can feel energetically ahead into the week and kind of just cast your imagination. Feels like you're making it up in your head. I wonder what Sunday will feel like. What's most important for me to know? King of Wands. Maybe a dark, handsome, tall, dark, handsome man will come into your life. They say tall, dark, and handsome, right? Maybe, King of Wands can represent a physical person, could represent you, could represent a person in your life. But more often than not, what I feel that this is really coming up as is it represents you standing in your strength, your creative desire to make a difference in this life. Look at his eyes. He is so focused, and he has the lion as an ally, king of the jungle. He's not eyes closed. He's not staring off into the distance. He is laser beam focused. I have a goal and I'm going to get it. There is a determination here. There is a focus. There is a will that's coming through. This is very Aries energy, wands, fire. Notice how he's different than the Queen of Pentacles, who had her eyes closed and her chin up. Like, I'm just at ease. I'm at rest. I can enjoy myself. He's like, just do it. So Sunday's energy with the moon and Gemini, let's just talk about that for a second. Gemini's thoughts. So if you got a bunch of downloads, creative insights on Saturday, your mind on Sunday might be like, oh, this way, this way, this way, this way. I'm going to say avoid the just do it energy on Sunday. Give yourself a moment in time to digest all of the insights and downloads that came through. You don't have to take action just yet, but allow the inspiration to build within you. Maybe you use the intensity and the focus to help you carve out a new pathway to reach your goal. But avoid the energy of impulsivity. Avoid the energy of feeling like you have to do it all right now, because that could create anxiety or worry. Like, how am I going to get it all done? How am I going to get to the goal? Because to get there, there's like 100 steps. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, definitely pop them up in the comments below. And then the other thing is too, if this has been helpful for you, please do share it with a friend, especially with this supermoon, full moon in Aries coming up on Thursday. The more love that we can spread, the more love that we can emulate and model for others in high-tempered times, highly volatile times, the better. Because you are the energetic weighty ones. Those of you who are listening, again, by accident, you were drawn for a particular reason. And part of it is that you are empathic. You are the people who feel to a greater and deeper depth. And because of that, we can sense the energy around us. It also means that you have the ability to influence that energy, just like it has influenced you in the past. You become the weighty one. You become the alchemist. You transmute. You can, if you choose, you have free will. You can transmute the energy. And the more of us that come together, the more positive effect that can be had. Doesn't mean we don't see the reality and what is. We do. We see it. And we bring love to it. All right. So if this has been helpful, please do share it with a friend. Do hit the like button. That helps me out so much. And the subscribe most definitely, because it helps get the message out to more who might feel like they're invisible and who haven't been seen. You're so welcome, Julie. Okay, have an incredible, incredible week. And hey, if you want more of this, come over into Moon Club. I'll make sure the link's around here for that. Otherwise, have an incredible week. Happy full moon. And for my Moon Club members, we have full moon ritual goodies coming up at the end of the week. I'll share more in the group. Mwah! Much love. Bye, guys.